Huh. Now comes the main point, which is actually if you are working on some practical system, then you might be facing this. So can sampling frequency be lower than Nyquist rate?
Actually, ideally it should not, but in practical life, we are facing this problem.
You have said that you are facing this problem. So
This we can face in the network, right? This type of problem.
no. But this is on the, let's say, generation side. I am generating my signal, then sampling it. So it is in all, everything is in my hand.
No, no. So then it will not. Means then we can't. In scan sampling, then it will not, right?
Okay.
It should to follow the Nyquist rate.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, I'll proceed then. So the answer of this question is, yes, we can actually have this case. So till now, let's understand this. Till now, what we were doing, that we were only plotting our signal like this, which is actually symmetric across the frequency axis. Why this is the case? So this is actually true when the signal is real in time domain. Okay. So I'll just quickly explain that thing to you, that when we take the DTFT of a signal, so this is the formula. Okay, so assume that my signal is real. So real signal means xn is equals to x conjugate n. Correct. And let's say it is x1. And now what will be the Fourier transform of x star n? Okay. Can I write it as something like this? So this is nothing but x1 of e minus j omega conjugate. Okay. And their magnitude spectrum, which I'm actually here, I'm actually plotting the magnitude spectrum of all the spectrums. So magnitude spectrum, which I'm representing it here by mods, is actually equals to this. Okay. So this is actually the same signal. I just I've just taken the conjugate. So this actually means that if the signal is real in time domain, its spectrum will be symmetric. What if the signal is complex in time domain, which is actually a very good practical case. So in practical cases, we usually get complex signals. So you might be knowing that we are getting IQ. So IQ is what? I plus JQ, and we process on that. So if the signal is complex in nature, it need not follow this particular shape. It may be something like this. So if let's say this is FM, and assume that this is minus FM by 2. Okay, so here I'm just taking one example. It could be anything. And by anything, I mean that it need not be symmetric across frequency axis. Okay, so now let's sample this thing. So my original spectrum will be here, Fs. Now next will be at Fs. And similarly, others. This will be what? Fs minus Fm by 2. Okay, and so that aliasing does not happen, Fs minus Fm by 2 should be greater than equals to Fm, so that these two do not overlap. Okay, what does this comes up with? that my Fs should be greater than equals to 3 by 2 Fm. So this is actually violating the Nyquist sampling theorem, but it is not resulting in any aliasing. And yeah, this is not a formula. I'm again saying that this is not any formula. It is just a specific value for this particular specific example. Okay, so do not assume that this is a formula. I'm again saying this. Okay, so the point here is that sampling frequency can be lower than Nyquist rate for complex signal and time domain. Is this clear? Any comments?
Hello.
Yeah.
Actually, this new frequency, we call it the Nyquist rate, no, for this signal then.
Mm-hmm.
So isn't this frequency becomes the new Nyquist rate then, right?
You can say that. I mean, it is up to you what you say that. So instead of Nyquist rate, I'll refer this as a sampling rate, sampling frequency. So so that because in literature they are always talking that my Nyquist rate should be greater than equals to 2 FM. So I don't want to confuse myself and others that I'm saying this is a Nyquist rate. So I'll just say that this is my sampling frequency Fs, and for this particular example, it can be less than 2 FM. Okay.
Okay.
If there are no more questions.
Pulkit, here when ideally when filter is not require frequency greater than, because in this case this filter don't require the frequency greater than 2 FM, right?
Okay.
Because this the frequency itself is suppose from minus FM by 2 to FM, right? So when our original signal itself don't follow the rule of 2 FM, then it's meeting the criteria of Nyquist rate, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is just another way of visualizing this. It is up to us that how do we make an intuition of this. You are right to some extent. I mean, it's up to us that how do we understand this. But if we just for a general understanding that for complex signal, if it is not not similar on positive and negative side, then it need not follow the Nyquist rate.
And ideally in real scenario, we are not getting exact thing, right? Minus FM2 plus FM. Right?
Yeah.
It may be different every time.
Yeah, it could be. So with this, I'll just
Pulkit, in the last slide, I have one question. So while recovering the signal at the receiving end, the filter won't have the cutoff frequency by Fs by 2.
It right? Could be lower also.
No. It should be greater than in that case, because it should be more than FM. Then only we can recover.
Yes.
Yes. So this Fs by 2 won't be the cutoff frequency in that. So you that again,
right. You are right. Yeah. So we have to design our system keeping in mind FM, the value of FM.
FM only. Yeah.
You are correct. Thanks for pointing this.
Suppose in this, if we are seeing it in a time domain, and if we are always follow the rule of means 2 FM, and the 2 FM means we are just initial time and then last means starting time and then ending time. We have some time duration. Within that time duration, we are just filtering some frequencies, right? So if we are means for every simples, if we are giving the different criteria, so overall we are saving the time.
Okay. By saving, you mean that as our sampling frequency is lower, we will have lesser number of samples, and to process lesser number of samples, we are saving some time.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Actually, this also is a motivation to understand undersampling and downsampling. We will come to this in this session also. So yeah, you gave a good example of downsampling. Actually, this is not downsampling, but yes, with downsampling also we can achieve whatever you said.
In the previous slide, when we are having, solving the example on 15 and 20 kilohertz FS, right? Where the sinusoidal is having the frequency of 10 kilohertz. There also this concept will apply, right? Let's suppose, for example, FS there is 10-15 kilohertz, which is less than the 2 FM, right? I mean 20. Okay. If you see, right, this 10 kilohertz is the sinusoidal frequency, and FS is 15 kilohertz. Okay. Now here we can actually make the we can use the advantage of aliasing, right? I will say in a complement way, where this samples 10K can be are appeared at -5K and +5 kilohertz. So we can use this concept of aliasing, right? Here we can't totally say like it is aliasing, right? I mean, here we can use a filter of Fs is equal to Fs by 2 and ideal calculation, and can retrieve the samples, right?
No, but in that case, if you put whatever you said, in that case, my final signal after recovering it through a low pass filter, my final signal will be a sinusoidal of frequency 5 kilohertz. Okay, like this will be, let's say this is a low pass filter. In that case, the sinusoidal will be of 5 kilohertz, which is not equal to my original signal.
Okay. I was thinking like a copies of this, like 10 kilohertz, and this all have been shifted in the spectrum, right? So in that case, okay.
No. Your thinking is not exactly right. It is right to some extent, because you are thinking that this copy is exactly similar to this copy.
Yes, correct.
But actually they are differing in frequency domain.
Okay.
You can maybe after the session you can just visualize this. Like instead of a perfect impulse, draw some shape across this. Let's say something like this. In that case, you will come to know that they are actually inverted. They are not same, because their impulses something. You are assuming that they are, by putting low pass filter, the shape will be same, but along with the shape, we will also consider the frequency as well.
Okay,
awesome. Yeah. I'll just take one example from 5G specifications and try to see what is the sampling frequency. So let's take an example of 100 megahertz of bandwidth, subcarrier spacing of 30 kilohertz. Okay. In this case, the number of subcarriers are 3276. So these numbers I have I have taken up from the 3GPP specifications, and if you wish to see these numbers, you can find this in this particular spec 38.101-1. Okay. So again, I'll not go in much explanation of this. Okay. Yeah. So our sampling frequency should be such that it should actually accommodate all the subcarriers. So I'll just give an example here, that as we know that 5G is a OFDM based system, and this is how all the subcarriers will be there. Actually, not exactly this, they will actually overlap, but just for, I'm not going into much details of OFDM at this point of time. So this is how all the subcarriers will be there, and these subcarriers will be 3276. And because we know that the subcarrier spacing is 30 kilohertz, so total bandwidth captured by them is 3276 multiplied by 0.03 megahertz. And if I calculate them quickly, it is 98.28 megahertz. Okay. And sampling frequency should be such that, how should we calculate the sampling frequency? It should be my subcarrier spacing multiplied by the higher number, which is also power of 2, the number which is power of 2 and higher than 3276. Okay, because this we will see in further sessions, that number of samples, or after sampling, the number of samples in one period should be a power of 2, because that will ease our implementation of DFT or FFT. Okay, so I'll not go in much detail at this point. Okay, so that number will be 4096. And by this, my sampling frequency will be 128.8 megahertz. Okay, so with this, I just want to pass on one message, that we can see that in 5G also, Fs is not greater than equals to 2 into 100 megahertz. So whatever we have told in this, that sampling frequency can be lower than Nyquist rate. So yes, in 5G NR also, my Fs can be lower than 200 megahertz, and it is actually this. How to calculate this? If you do not understand this at this point, it is totally fine. We will build up some concepts in further sessions to understand this. But yeah, I just want to pass on this message here.